Senator from Wisconsin is recognized.
Let me first start out and say how bad I feel for the Senate floor staff here. Didn't have to be this way. I think we could have, Senator Schumer could have easily sent us home, let people get a good night's rest, come back here at a reasonable hour, and we could have continued this debate. But unfortunately, Senate leadership is just so hell-bent to provide funding for Ukraine. They couldn't wait. They had to work you folks through the night, and I feel bad for you. You'll notice I have a chart here. It's the one I literally started producing back in about 2013, 2014, on the problems we're having at our border. I wish that was the primary debate we're having right now, is what do we need to do to secure our border? What should the United States Senate, what should Congress, what should this administration be doing to keep Americans safe? Now, unfortunately, and I'll get into that in much greater detail, this was pretty well taken off the table. Not because Republicans were reluctant to join in a bipartisan immigration bill. We never asked for that. What we asked for is, as long as the administration had a high priority of supplying another 60 plus billion to Ukraine to help Ukraine secure its border, we thought maybe, just maybe, we could use that as leverage to force this administration to secure our border. Now, it's important to recognize that President Biden has probably all the authority he needs to secure the border. Why do I say that? Well, President Trump, when faced with his crisis, which never ever hit 5,000 people a day, you can see how sharp that peak was and how quickly it dropped. But President Trump used what executive authority he had, authority that the Supreme Court wrote in Section 212F of the Immigration and Nationality Act exudes deference to the president in every clause. It entrusts the president the decisions whether and when to suspend entry, quote, whenever he finds that the entry of aliens would be detrimental to the national interest. It defers him to make the decision on whose entry to suspend. Quote, all aliens or any class of aliens. For how long? For such period as he shall deem necessary. And what conditions? Any restrictions he may deem to be appropriate. The Supreme Court goes on to say, it is therefore unsurprising that we have previously observed that Section 212F of the INA vests the president with ample power to impose any restrictions in addition to those elsewhere enumerated in the INA. Now, it's true that President Trump, in securing that border, met with a great deal of resistance. The radical open border crowd challenged virtually every action he wanted to take in court. But he eventually overcame all those. And again, I'll go through this history. I'll come back in greater detail. But anyway, so President Trump, using existing authority and sheer willpower, little arm twisting with the president of Mexico, from peak to trough, a little less than 5,000 people a day for only 1 month. Within 12 months, brought it down to about 1,200 a day. This was right at the beginning of COVID. And then Title 42 kicked in and dropped it from about 1,200 a day to a low of 570. So again, that's what President Trump was able to do, to use his existing authority. What happened after that? Well, the presidential debates started heating up. And every Democrat candidate for president on the debate stage said we were going to end deportations and offer immigrants free health care. You had all these big city mayors declaring their cities sanctuary cities. Come one, come all. We'll protect you from federal agents. So guess what? They started to come. Unfortunately, President Biden won the presidency, and he made good on that promise. This marks President Biden's inauguration and the explosion of illegal immigration into America. It's hard to get the exact figures because this president's Department of Homeland Security is not exactly what you'd call transparent. They don't give up the numbers the American people deserve to know very easily. So we have to kind of cobble these things together from different sources, but I think it's pretty obvious looking at the numbers that about 6 million people since the start of the Biden administration have entered this country illegally and have stayed. We really do not know who these people are. Who we definitely don't know who these people are the close to 2 million gotaways, known and unknown. By the way, the known gotaway, that's kind of a misnomer. We have no idea who these people are. We just detected them coming across the border. So again, about 6 million people total. 31 states have a population less than 6 million people. My state, Wisconsin, is on the bubble. We have about 5.8, 5.9 people. That's the magnitude, the order of magnitude of the migrant flow that President Biden, using the same executive authority that President Trump used to secure the border, he used that exact same authority to open it wide open and put our nation at risk. When you listen to FBI Director Wray and other law enforcement officials talk about the current threat level, Director Wray, in front of testimony in both House and Senate, says all the warning signs are flashing. The threat of foreign terrorist organizations has not been higher since 9/11. Gee, I wonder how a foreign terrorist fighter could enter this country. Is President Biden's softness on Iran, the coddling of the world's largest state sponsor of terrorism, is that in any way tied to what intelligence he might have of sleeper cells? Ready to be triggered if President Biden's response to their sponsor of terrorism is too hard?